Welcome guys to another episode of my Arsenal career mode series, and in today's episode I'm going to do something different. In the last episode guys, we did finish season 1. We played the remaining Premier League games, and if you guys did miss any episodes from this first season, check the link to the playlist down below, and the playlist will have all the episodes that I've uploaded so far. So in today's episode I'm going to be doing a season review, and this is the first time I'm ever doing a season review in my career mode. So during this season review, we're going to be taking a look at results throughout the season, where we went through the competitions, a squad report, and just sort of reviewing this season that was. So guys, thank you for all the support you guys have shown on this first season. Obviously I do want to do 3 seasons with Arsenal, so hope you guys can support the video by smashing a like. If we can smash over 100 likes, that will be insane. So yeah, first thing that we're going to do for this season review, we're going to be taking a look at where we finished during league games. So we're going to take a look at the Premier League table. You guys can see we did finish 4th. We finished played 38 games, we won 20, drawn 10 and lost 8. We scored 45 goals, only conceding 29 with a 16 goal difference, and we did end up on 70 points. Manchester City did win the league, beating Liverpool to the Premier League title by about 5-6 points. So that's very good for Manchester City. So as you guys can see, the top 4 consists of City, Liverpool, Chelsea and Arsenal. We really did struggle to finish in 4th position. If you guys did miss the previous episode, it was actually Tottenham and Everton who were actually ahead of us going into the final game of the season. They both played each other. The game ended with a draw. We picked up a 2-0 victory over West Brom, so that is how we did jump up to 4th. So you guys can see Spurs and Everton finished in 5th and 6th. Manchester United surprisingly finishing in 7th position. Stoke City in 8th, with just behind them is West Brom. Swansea finishing mid-table, which is a bit surprising. Newcastle United down in 11th. West Ham, Aston Villa, Sunderland and Burnley make up 12th to 15th. Southampton surprisingly finish in 16th with only 10 wins, 7 draws and 21 losses. As you guys can see, both Crystal Palace and Hull City, who are getting relegated, did lose 21 games. So very surprising that Southampton did that bad throughout this season. Both them and QPR just survived relegation with 37 points. Hull City, Crystal Palace and Leicester City all getting relegated. So Hull City finished on 35 points, Crystal Palace on 31, and Leicester City with the lowest points total with 26. So as you guys can see, it was a decent season. So I am going to show you guys results throughout the season and just take a look at how we did do overall and where we could improve for this second season. So they are the Premier League stats. Jumping into the Community Shield, obviously we did win the Community Shield in episode number 2 of this career mode series. We beat Manchester City 5-4 on penalties. What a penalty shootout that was. So that was the first piece of silverware to kick off the season. The next competition is the FA Cup, and the FA Cup is where we did get eliminated in I think it was round 3, our first game of the FA Cup. We did get knocked out by Reading. So as you guys can see, Manchester City win the FA Cup final, beating Manchester United on penalties 5-4. So as I said, that is one competition I want to win during season 2. So I want to try and win every single piece of silverware throughout these 3 seasons in England. So Manchester City take out the FA Cup. The next competition is the Capital One Cup, and we did beat Chelsea 1-0 in a really good game. You guys can see from this tournament tree, we did win 4-0 in our round of 16 game. We won 3-0 in our quarterfinals game. We won 1-0 due to an amazing goal from Jack Wilshere in the semi-finals in the 90th minute. I will never forget that goal. And obviously in the final we did beat Chelsea. So Chelsea, they went up against Leicester City, Manchester United and Man City to get into the finals. So they had a tough run, but luckily, as you guys can see, the second piece of silverware for this first season was a Capital One Cup. So winning 2 pieces of silverware for this first season, I think that is very good. So as you guys can see, it is Barcelona who take out the Champions League. They beat El Clasico rivals Real Madrid 3-2 in the final. You guys can see we did get knocked out in the round of 16s to Roma. We did lose to Roma. It was, obviously 1-0. But we lost during the second half of extra time. I think it was like in the 115th minute. Sadly, we did pick up the loss there. So that is a competition that I want to go further in. I want to maybe get to semi-finals and maybe next season reach the final of the Champions League. The board just expected me to reach knockout stages, so I did do the board's expectations, which is nice to see. Euro League, a team which I don't know nothing about, beat Inter Milan 1-0, and that is it for competition tables and everything. So yeah, that's nice to see, guys. I'm going to show you guys the calendar, and this is where we're going to find out results throughout this season. Let's just left trigger all the way to the start of the season. So obviously we had friendly games I do skip. We had Manchester City. Obviously we did beat them in the Community Shield final. So that is how the season started, but as you guys can see, we didn't get the best of starts during this during the Premier League season. We drew to Crystal Palace 0-0 in the first game. We actually lost to Everton 2-1, and we beat Leicester City 3-1. So not the best of starts of the season. And as you guys can see, pushing into September, we won our first Champions League game 3-0 to CSKA Moscow. We actually lost to Aston Villa. So Aston Villa we lost to 2-1. So as you guys can see, from 4 Premier League games, we already lost 2 games, and that is what costed us at the end of the season. So we beat Everton 2-0 in the Capital One Cup game. We drew to Tottenham 0-0, and then we drew to Manchester City 1-1. Pushing into October, we drew 1-1 against Feyenoord in the Champions League group stage. We beat Chelsea 1-0 away, which is a very nice result. We beat Hull City 3-0. We had another win in the Champions League group stage. We beat Sunderland 1-0 in the league, which was very nice to see. And obviously, Capital One Cup, round of 16 game, we did beat Leyton Orient 4-0. And you guys already know the result of the Capital One Cup. We did win it. But as you guys can see, a game which we should have won. Burnley, we lose to them 1-0 at home. And obviously, you guys do know, I think we lost 8 games throughout this season. And games like Burnley, we should be winning, and that is what costed us. That is why we just snuck into the top 4. We did get a 1-0 victory over CSKA Moscow again in the Champions League. We drew to Swansea 1-1, and we lost to Manchester United 2-0. So, looking at November for Premier League form was not too good. Lost 1-0, drew 1-1, and lost 2-0. Also, we drew 1-1 against Shakhtar Donetsk in our Champions League, and we just got a 1-0 victory over West Bromwich Albion. Picked up a 3-0 win to kick off December 2014 against Derby County. A 1-0 win over Stoke in the Premier League. We actually lost our final Champions League game against Feyenoord, so didn't give us the good momentum going into the knockout stages of the Champions League. We beat Newcastle United at home 2-0. We drew to Southampton 0-0. We drew to Liverpool 0-0. We actually beat QPR 1-0. And we just beat West Ham 3-2. So as you guys can see, we had a game on the Friday, then a game on the Sunday. So even in FIFA 14, I had this same problem. Fixture congestion is the worst in career mode. To kick off 2015, guys, we did pick up a 1-0 win over Southampton, which was nice to see. Obviously, we did crash out in the early stages of the FA Cup against Reading 1-0. We picked up that 1-0 win against Newcastle United, which sent us to the Capital One Cup final. We lost to Manchester City 1-0 in a disappointing result. In February, we kicked it off with the draw against Tottenham 1-1. We just beat Leicester City 2-1. We just beat Stoke City. So those sort of teams during this month, we should have really picked up quite big victories. As you guys can see, also we drew to Crystal Palace 2-2, and we just beat Aston Villa 2-1. So yeah, we beat Chelsea to kick off March in the Capital One Cup final. We just beat QPR 1-0. We drew to Everton 2-2, coming from behind 2-0 down. We lost to Roma to get kicked out of the Champions League. We lost to West Ham 2-0, and we just beat Newcastle 1-0. So pushing into April now, we had a huge victory over Liverpool 2-1. We lost to Burnley 2-1. So twice we played Burnley during this first season, and we lost to them twice, 1-0 and 2-1. We just beat Sunderland 2-1, and we beat Chelsea again 1-0. So we had a nice run against those top sides. We beat Chelsea and beat Liverpool, who did finish second in the Premier League. We drew to Hull 2-2. We beat Swansea 2-0. We lost to Manchester United 1-0, and to end off the season, we beat West Brom 2-0. So it was a decent season, guys, but I still want to improve from this season's performances. You guys can see, obviously, we did finish 4th. So, as I said, we had a nice run against those top sides. So, I think we beat all the teams that finished above us. Yes, we beat Manchester City in the Capital One Cup final. We actually didn't beat them in a league game, which was a bit disappointing. So, the thing that we're going to take a look at now, guys, to end off this season review, it is going to be a squad report. The final squad report for this first season. So Szczesny's gone up by 1. His morale is homesick. So will Szczesny stay for season 2? You guys have to wait and see. Laporte, who we did bring in during January, he's gone up by 1. Mertesacker's gone up by 1. Koscielny's gone up by 2. Theo Walker has gone up by 2. Ramsey has gone up by 2. Jack Wilshere has gone up by 1. Alexis Sanchez has stayed at the same rating. Maya stayed at the same rating. Lacazette has stayed at an 80 rated. He scored 12 goals throughout this whole season. Danny Welbeck has gone up by 3. Callum Chambers has gone up by 4, who actually was pretty good throughout this season. Rafael Varane's gone up by 3. Oxlade-Chamberlain has stayed at a 78. Kieran Gibbs has gone up by 1. Cazorla's gone up by 2, who we will be selling at the start of season 2. Giroud has stayed the same. Ozil, who he played 23 games throughout this season, and he didn't even get a goal, which is very disappointing for his standards. Any other players that have gone up? Joel Campbell's gone up by 3, which is very good. And other than that, not too many players down here will be going up by much. So yeah, as you guys can see, a lot of our loan players have gone up by a couple of overalls, which is very nice to see. But I just forgot something. I'm going to show you guys the Premier League stats. So these were the Premier League stats for this season. Danny Welbeck equally wins the top goal scorers award with Varela, Knightley, and Yaya Toure. That's right, guys. Yaya Toure. There was 4 players taking out top goal scorer in the Premier League with all 14 goals. Assist, Theo Walcott comes in 4th with 6. Ericsson wins it with 9. Szczesny wins clean sheets. He got 18 clean sheets. Just behind him is Mignolet. So we did keep quite a lot of clean sheets throughout the season. And obviously yellow and red cards, we don't want to be in those categories. So guys, that is going to end the season review of season 1 of my Arsenal Career Mode series. If you guys have any suggestions to better this season review, drop a comment down below. Do you want me to show different things throughout a season review? I haven't seen anyone do this on YouTube, so that is why I decided to do one. And we're just gonna, at the end of a season, we take a look back of like the season that was. So guys, smash a like on the video, make sure to drop a comment down below, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you all next time.